The virtue of Yusuf and the longing of Zuleikha. In a land far from his own, the young man Yusuf was brought to the noble house of Intef, a master of wealth and influence. Though he arrived as a servant, his spirit shone with such grace and beauty that all who saw him felt the purity of his heart. Intef's wife, Zuleikha, watched Yusuf grow in stature and wisdom. Her days became consumed by his presence. Her heart, which had been content amidst all the finery of her life, became captured by a profound and overwhelming desire for the virtuous young man. The air in the noble house grew thick with Zuleikha's longing. One day, in her most beautiful chamber, she could contain her passion no more. She sought to tempt Yusuf with the promise of ease and all the luxuries her position could offer. But Yusuf was bound by his faith and his duty to Intef, his master. He saw the path of temptation, yet he chose the way of virtue. He turned from the offered beauty and, in fear of God, fled from Zuleikha's chambers. Humiliated, Zuleikha tore at Yusuf's robe as he ran. When Intef entered the room, she quickly fashioned a tale, pointing the blame at Yusuf. But the wise master noticed that the tear was in the back of the garment, confirming Yusuf's flight and Zuleikha's deception. To silence the scandal that now hung over the house, Yusuf was unjustly thrown into the dark dungeon. Yet, even in the cold depths of the prison, his spirit remained pure. He offered comfort and wisdom to his fellow captives, never losing his calm faith. Years passed slowly until one night, the great King Mentuhotep was disturbed by a terrifying dream, 7 lean cows devouring 7 fat ones. He called his sages, but none could unlock the meaning of the dreadful vision. The king was reminded of the virtuous prisoner Yusuf and called for him. Yusuf stood before the throne and immediately declared the dream to mean 7 years of rich harvest, followed by 7 years of terrible famine. Impressed by his clear sight and undeniable honesty, the king elevated Yusuf to a position of enormous power, making him the vizier over the storehouses of the entire kingdom. Yusuf now governed the people's food, preparing them for the coming lean times. When the great famine came, it was not only Yusuf's family who traveled to him for aid, but many others, including the aged Zuleikha. Her beauty had long faded, but her heart had finally turned to repentance. Yusuf, who had mastered forgiveness, looked upon her with mercy, and their long, troubled story finally found peace.